Okay, y'all, this take two. And this is gonna piss me off. Keep talk deleting the video because I don't know, I'm clicking the wrong button. Okay, y'all, so I got a story time for y'all. It's gonna be multiple parts to this story time. This story time is not to brag or boast. This story time is to help somebody save lives. You don't look like what you've been through a lot of times, and that's me. This story time will be called 15 years old and pimping. I was a pimp. 15 years old. You may look at me and say I'm lying. You may look at me and say, no, ain't no way she was a pimp. You may say, this girl is capping. This ain't Jay as we know. This is real life. A lot of my family members don't probably know about these stories. Only a select few know a little bit, and everybody don't know the full. I'm going to start from the beginning about everything. So it's going to be long and processed out so you can get a grasp of what was going on. Okay, let's start for starters. How I got to the pimping. Okay. I had got a DHS custody. Let's start here. My family did want me. A lot of people, when I tell them this story, they be like, ain't no way you wanted to be in debt. Yes, I did. At this time in my life, I was so evil. I had so much hatred, so much hell in me at this time that I didn't care about nothing but what Jazz wanted. With that being said, I had got so out of control that I almost got my siblings took from my mama. I did not realize my actions at the time because I was so mad. I had told my DHS that my mom was smoking weed. And they told me that if she smoking weed, was I serious? They told me, was she smoking weed? If I was serious, they was going to take my siblings. I said, yeah, she smoked weed. I know for a fact she do. They drove test my mama and my grandmama. They passed. They was not smoking weed. I just made up stuff. Okay. So, my Uncle Ken had begged me to come home. I said, no, he hung up the phone. My mama and my grandmama begged me. They was very, 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 very good to me. They begged me to come home. I told them no because at this time I was ruthless. This is not the person I was, not who I used to be. I was a child. I was a minor. I'm a grown woman now. So this was 11 years ago. So let's know that. Anything I talk about, it was wrong, but it was 11 years ago. I'm changed, okay? So, boom. Yeah, back to that. So, my mama done begged me, Jazz, come home. No. So, Miss Cassandra was like, well, if you don't want to go with your mother, then you're going to go to DHS custody. It's either two options here because you were minor. I went to DHS custody. Okay. When I left from juvenile, Healy Young Juvenile Detention Center, Justice Center, what they want to call it. Okay, when I left from there, they had sent me to a group home in Fulton, Mississippi. If you don't know what a group home is where kids go, troubled kids that don't have anybody, whatever the case may be. A lot of times kids in the state go to a group home. If you're lucky enough to go to a group home. You go to a group home with other people. It was other girls there. The group homes were awesome. I had hell in me. Anyway, I ended up running away and stuff like that from the group home. I ended up linking up with some girls. Y'all became really, really close. Boom. Okay. So now, yeah, we all became really, really close. When I ran away from the group home in Fulton, Mississippi, they had sent me back to juvenile. When I left juvenile, they had released me with my grandmother. At this point, my cousin Mo, she was pregnant and everything. I was happy. I was excited. I was ready to see my cousin. Okay. So, I was ready to see my cousin. But my grandmama took me to go get Chinese food, and the judge was like, we need her in a halfway home because she's a high-risk runaway and we don't want to chance it. But I was not going to run from my grandma's house again. And I had wanted to see my cousin pregnant, too. My Mickey was pregnant with Kamai. I had wanted to see her because I hadn't seen her, so it was a sad situation. So, we ended up going, they ended up coming get me and stuff like that. I had to go to this halfway home. The lady was really nice. She was a white lady. Okay, we're going to say K name for short. It was her name, Kate. But her real name, I'm gonna say the real name, her name started with K. Me and Kay, she was a white girl. We was both young. I think she was a little older than me though, but she was a minor too. We both liked to run away. Both was hot heads. So the white lady and her daughter stayed together. And it was going to be me and Katie was going to be in there with her. I want to say it was in Byron. If it wasn't Byron, it was South Jackson. I really, really want to say that this halfway house or whatever it was, foster home, I think, it was in Byron. White lady was like, what y'all want to eat? We was like, Pizza Hut. Cool. She fed us. She was really, really nice. Me and Katie already was on the same type of timing. Me and Katie both knew we was going to run off the bat. The judge sent us there, both of us there to not run. We both knew what type of timing it was. We was both alike. Okay? So, boom. We get in the room. We get to talking. We're like, what we going to do? Katie like, bro, we really need a phone. We should go in there and beat up and get our phone. I was like, no. Because, had we beat the lady up, that would have been a different charge. Us just run away as kids, that's not a real charge, right? So with that being said, I was like, no, we're not going to do that. So we just, okay, it's like, we were going to have to get to a phone. Because we get to a phone, I can get to my pimp. She didn't say the time was a pimp. But I couldn't find out. I found out it was a pimp. She didn't tell me we was getting to a pimp. She just told me it was a homeboy, somebody was a pimp. So, okay. Me and Katie, we eventually sat. We didn't even get under the sheets in the nice room, nice bed, put us in the same room. Why they do that? What they do that for, I don't know why. Okay, me and Katie get in the room. We sit on the bed 30 minutes to an hour. I'm already mad because they took me away from my grandma. I didn't get to see my cousin. I'm mad. Hot. So it's whatever at this point. But I wasn't finna rob nobody either. So, anywho. Katie jumped out the window first. So, we jump out the window. The alarm started going off in the house. And jump out the window. I don't know why they had burger bars on there. 2 runaways. I don't know why. But anyway, probably think was going to do it in the country. Jump out the window. We hit the bush. Katie hit the bush first. I hit the bush second. I'm crying. I'm scuffing up my knee. I'm crying. Boom. We get the jacket. This time I'm skinny. I'm a different size. 15 years old. I'm petite, skinny, all that. So boom. We get the jacket. Okay. We run about a mile. We get up the road. It was a Byron police officer. I never forget. He was sitting at the gas station with his lights off. And he only had, I think, the top one on. But the other lights was off. So we knew then. We said, man, I started crying. I said, man, we done got caught, fool. And we done did all of this. And they finna take us right back to the juvenile center, bro. We done messed up. At this point, it wasn't nowhere else to turn. Wherever the gas station was, it was like we had to walk past the police officer. So at this point, because on this side of the road, it was dark. On this side of the road, it was businesses. We had to go past him. So at this point, it's like, okay, we finna walk past him. I guess if he come after us, we finna get the jacket on the police officer. Mind you, I had already ran a police officer. No, I had ran one yet. But anyway, it was after the fact. Anywho, so we walked past him. He didn't get out. He didn't ask what we was doing. He didn't ask no questions. We was like, bro, did we just get past the police officer? So we got past him. We started running people's backyard. We started jumping fences. We hearing dogs. We running through people's yards. We running through people's backyard. We running on people's pools. We getting through neighborhoods. We jacking. We busting corn. We running. Because we didn't got past a police officer and he's supposed to say something. I don't know if he was... I don't think I could think of he was asleep. That's the only thing I could think of. Anywho's 15 years old and pimping. I gotta come back with a part 2. This is a real life story. This is not make believe. I gotta come back with a part 2. Thank y'all for watching.